Hey, how you doing? This is Blake Yarber. I'm here today to talk to you about Thomas Jefferson and the legacy that he's going to leave behind. At first, I just want to state that according to course guidelines, historians must be objective and honest in their investigations. Now, really, when looking and investigating other revolutionary leaders around the world, typically these men are going to be remembered for the drastic change and strong policies that they incorporated in their own countries. For example, when you take a look at Vladimir Lenin in Russia bringing the Soviet government into practice, Thomas Jefferson is going to be a little bit different. His remembrance is going to be really being remembered as a key founding father for his influence and construction of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson is going to differ from other political leaders of the world, such as Lenin, for the basic fact that he was not classified as having the same amount of talents or talents as other political leaders had. Also, Jefferson was not given the opportunity to impose on his countrymen, did not have enough time. Jefferson was actually characterized as being a very modest and self-effacing young man and was forced to share a crowded stage with different revolutionary leaders, especially war heroes such as George Washington, other big influences such as Alexander Hamilton and Ben Franklin, and the list can go on and on. Jefferson was so modest that his most influential document, which was the Declaration of Independence, was intended to be an expression of the American mind and not of his own will. Some historians have said that Jefferson is really considered as kind of a holy grail of American history. For example, whenever you study Jefferson, it really stems into a conversation as a way to discuss American nationhood as well as a way to study the nation's history. Now, just a little pretense. Jefferson was born on April 13th, 1743 in Shadwell, Virginia. Jefferson is going to grow up on a plantation with his father. His mother died when he was at a very young age. His father is going to pass whenever Jefferson is 14 years old. When this happens, Jefferson is going to inherit the plantation from his father. And he is going to work that life for about 3 or 4 years until the age of 17, where Jefferson is going to attend William and Mary. There he's going to study law and begin to take an interest in politics. Jefferson is mostly remembered as the author of the Declaration of Independence, but he has accomplished so much more than what people really remember him by. Shortly after Jefferson was elected to the House of Burgesses is really going to be his first stronghold within government. His first political work to gain broad acclaim was in 1774, which was basically a draft of directions for Virginia's delegation to the First Continental Congress. In this account, Jefferson is going to boldly remind King George III that he is no more than the chief officer of the people appointed by the laws and basically assisting and working to create a machine of government that essentially would split them from Britain. 2 years after this document, Jefferson is going to join the Continental Congress, where he's going to draft the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson is going to remain in Congress until 1776, when he is going to return to Virginia and serve in the legislature. In late 1776, as a member of the new House of Delegates in Virginia, he worked closely with James Madison. Their first collaboration was going to be the end or the attempt to end the religious establishment within Virginia, which is going to become a legislative battle, which would culminate with the passage of Jefferson's Statute of Religious Freedoms in 1786. Jefferson was elected governor in 1779 and remained governor until 1781. Where he is going to suffer from an inquiry into his conduct during the British invasion of Virginia in his last year of office. In 1784, he's going to enter public service again, this time in France. He's going to be first established as a trade commissioner and then as Ben Franklin's successor as U.S. minister. And finally, in 1790, he is going to agree to be the first Secretary of State under the new Constitution in the administration of the first President George Washington. And finally, in 1796, as the presidential candidate of the Democratic Republican Party, he is going to become the vice president after losing to John Adams by 3 electoral votes. 4 years later, he is going to defeat Adams in another hotly contested election and become the president. This one is going to be the first peaceful transfer of authority from one party to another. Excuse me. Perhaps the most notable achievements of his first term as the President of the United States is going to be the purchase of Louisiana Territory in 1803 from Napoleon Bonaparte in France. Thomas Jefferson is really classified as a simple man that wanted to be remembered essentially for 3 things outside of all his accomplishments. He's going to design his own grave marker that is really just going to bear 3 of his accomplishments and not a word more. All right, it was actually stated on his on his gravestone. Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of American Independence of the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom and father of the University of Virginia. All right, so Thomas Jefferson really established himself, really left a major legacy behind that is still looked after today. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my video.